Moving on to R6, appoint Brad Garbutt as the District 3 Representative to Shasta County Elections Commission to serve the remainder of a term, January 6, 2025. Ms. Blankenship, Chief Deputy Clerk of the Board.
Thank you, Chair, Board. Supervisor Rickert has requested staff agendize the appointment of Mr. Brad Garbutt as the District 3 Representative to the Shasta County Elections Commission. Mr. Garbutt would fill the remainder of a term to January 2025. As required via Ordinance 2023-07 and the Commission bylaws, Mr. Garbutt fulfills the requirements as a registered voter of Shasta County. That concludes my presentation, and both myself and Supervisor Rickert would be available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay.
I just want to say that my selection of Brad Garbutt, he's well respected in the real estate business in Shasta County. He's a man of good moral character, and I think he'd make an excellent person to serve on this particular commission. And I feel more comfortable putting a person on this commission with Tom Toller and my conversations I had with him. I think that that we need, reasonable people with common sense, and I think Mr. Garbutt would bring that to the commission.
Is there a motion there, Supervisor Rickert?
Yes, there's a motion there.
All right.
I move that we approve him as the District 3 Representative to the Shasta County Elections Commission.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Supervisor Rickert, seconded by Supervisor Garman. Do we want to have any board discussion before we get to public comment?
I'll do it after.
Okay, we'll do it after. I'm gonna exercise a right I have as chair. We have a ton of cards, and Council Larmer, does it have to be the minutes per each R or for the whole item? Or can we make this one, because we have 10 or more cards, 2 minutes?
The chair has discretion to set the time per item based on the number of cards you have.
Perfect. All right, we're going to do 2 minutes each speaker for R6. I will tell you this, just to give everybody, Brad Garbutt, I have not a lot of respect for in some ways, but I have a ton of respect because he came to coffee once. We sat, and he was in a room full of people, maybe 5 or 6 that would be more his persuasion, and maybe it wasn't that many that day. It might have been 3 or 4 that may have felt like Mr. Garbutt, and maybe 10 to 15 that were maybe more so my side. But I have respect for anybody that can come, sit down, have a conversation. I think he's nuts. He thinks I'm nuts, but I can respect it. So I will be supporting the appointment. So when you come up for your 2 minutes, please be respectful. I would appreciate, as chair, no hooping and hollering, no yelling, no calling out. Let's get through it. 2 minutes each speaker. That's how I feel. First up, Bruce Russell.
Chair?
Yes, Supervisor Rickert.
Why, we've had a lot of very long meetings. Why all of a sudden are we changing the 3-minute public comment to 2-minute public comment?
Because I'm refining.
Excuse me, I'm not finished.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I apologize.
I feel that we need to be consistent in this board chamber, and that's not being consistent. I think we need to be fair to everyone here, and if we start changing how many minutes we're speaking, I just think it shows bias, and I think we need to treat people equally and fairly, and that's all I can say.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is 2 minutes. There is nothing not equal and not fair. Everybody gets 2 minutes. So the audacity. Please stop yelling out. It is about everybody having the same. And I'm just saying, as I'm chairman, I want to get these meetings as efficiently and moving county business along as fast as possible. Supervisor Garman.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thoughts as Supervisor Rickert. If you're going to make it 2 minutes here, let's make it 2 minutes on everything we bring forward from now and going forward.
Because we have more than 10 cards, so I'm sorry, Supervisor Garman, I didn't run my thoughts by you first. With that, Bruce Russell, come on up.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done, sir, and I would like to finish my thought.
Okay.
It just, because you were sitting here saying, okay, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, this is our last regular item, we have consent silent calendar, one closed item. This does not appear like a meeting that's going to last till 2 or 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening. Why can't we hear 10 cards? I feel like this, you are opening the door for the public to actually sit here and say, okay, you're going to allow somebody, you have the, I know you have that choice, but it looks terrible, Supervisor.
So here's terrible. Supervisor Garman,
people are going to,
yes.
Hey,
listen, they're in the front row. That is a reason That is a reason, go ahead.
It just should be the same for everybody. And you just said that, and you can't sit there and say the same for, okay, it's Brad, we're only gonna have people speak for 2 minutes. But, you know, when Supervisor Jones, you had your people come up, they got more than 2 minutes,
And you know what?
right?
Everybody got the same. That's what I don't.
They didn't get the same.
Okay, listen. You're killing county time. Supervisor Ricker.
This is a total of addition of 10 minutes. We can certainly sit here for another 10 minutes. You know, this is not, you are taking away the voice of the people. And this is what is so important. We want to have the voice of the people to be heard. And in my recollection, I can remember one night adjourning a meeting at midnight. But I did not, excuse me, but I did not limit people's time to talk to 2 minutes, because I felt it was important that every person has 3 minutes. We've done that consistently for decades. And this particular item should not be singled out.
Supervisor Jones.
Once again, a few supervisors do not respect the authority of the chair. Supervisor Rickard.
Hey, listen.
Resign.
Quiet.
Let the man speak. Shut the hell up. Let him speak.
Hey, listen. Hey, here's the thing. And again, I'm going to, Supervisor Jones, if I may. Thank you. This is what I want the public to watch back on, right? This is why our society continues to deteriorate. Hey, see, listen. All right, Supervisor Jones.
Stop it. Let the man speak.
Hey.
Everybody shut up.
Hey,
Let
listen.
him speak.
Hey.
Let him speak.
Listen.
Let him speak.
Hey, Stephen.
Shut up.
2021.
Stephen.
You didn't respect the chair.
Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, just
Yes,
give,
sir.
real quick, okay? Listen, hey, listen, we all are gonna sit next to each other in Costco or at the movies. Hey, please, Susan, you're just throwing gas on the fire. We're gonna get through this. Supervisor Jones, then Supervisor Garman, and then I'm gonna say that's enough, and we're gonna go to Bruce. Supervisor Jones.
So the chair has authority to make certain decisions. It was not that long ago that Supervisor Rickard, on her authority as chair, shut the entire boardroom out of the public on her authority.
You already voted on it.
She was chair, it was her decision. So, Chair, I have no problem with the
All
3
right.
minutes.
All right, Supervisor Garman.
I'll just, one last comment. When I ran, I always said I would want to hear everybody speak, and I don't care if we are here until 2 in the morning. That still holds true today. If somebody took the time to come into this meeting, is here in person, and has a card filled out, by all rights, we should let them speak for the full 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Garman.
Absolutely.
All right, Bruce Russell, come on up. Hey, and Mr. Russell, thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you, no problem. I oppose the appointment of Brad Garbutt to the Election Commission. We need people on the commission that have an open mind and want to make our elections more transparent and secure. Mr. Garbutt appears to have made comments in February and March of this year on the Nextdoor app that he feels the commission is useless and should be disbanded. He appears to go by the name of Brad G. of Mary Lake on Nextdoor. Mr. Garbutt should explain how he can be a good fit for the Elections Commission if he feels it's useless and should be disbanded. He should also explain how his past use of foul language at a public supervisor meeting is appropriate for a potential commissioner. The Elections Commission is a very important resource for the supervisors and the ROV that can independently investigate the serious problems with our election system and make recommendations to the supervisors and the ROV. The integrity of our elections is the most important issue of our time. Without fair and transparent elections, we will cease to be a free people. We need people on the Elections Commission that want to improve the election system in Shasta County. You should not appoint people who want to leave the status quo in place. I do not believe Mr. Garbutt is a good choice for the Election Commission. Thank you and for letting me speak.
Thank you. Lori Bridgeford. Lori Bridgeford, followed by Stephen Kahn, followed by Christian. Lori Bridgeford, is she? Oh, she's right there. And that's my fault, I didn't have you in queue. Welcome.
Good morning, Board and Chair. Did you call the rest of the queue so people can start?
Yeah,
lining
I
up?
just did, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Steve and then Christian.
Very good. Yesterday, I was at the most calm and orderly meeting of the Election Commission. It was an amazing success without the usual disruptors, screaming and yelling, not a peep from the chambers, and that was yesterday. It was astonishing to go through a meeting with just normal, average business and no one flipping out, having a tantrum, or theatrics or stunts. So for R6, I'm going to have to say no one, Brad Garbutt, I mean, his foul language is right there. If anyone hasn't seen yet on YouTube, 1 minute, 19 seconds by Shasta Anonymous, who is Brad Garbutt. That's great that he's got an occupation and he works, but some people act like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. On the surface, the optics that they're calm or respectful, but on the inside, and his comments posted on Donnie's whatever that is. So I see character issues. I had an awful time at that coffee time when he showed up 20 minutes late and started to take over. It was arrogant, rude, vile. So I was sitting next to him. So I'm not sure how much you caught of his behavior and conduct, but that's a part of who he is. And to replicate both Supervisor Garman and Supervisor Rickert that they think this is a waste and useless, why even appoint someone if they have that same philosophy? Why? You're wasting our time by appointing duds. Knock it off, or let it go, or keep the 3 people on the commission. So it's just, there's too many all roads lead to the News Cafe thingy, where the most disgusting things, and if they've already been scrubbed and deleted, I would not be surprised. So, you know, if he doesn't get this appointment today, is there going to be another security get ready? And people can do these quote-unquote peaceful protests. It's ridiculous. So that's pretty much all I have to say. No, thank you on Mr. Garbutt.
It's Steve Kahn, but you know what? No, go ahead, come on up. I said, that's fine, because I saw him walk out, so I'm just gonna move you up. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, there you go. Yes, sir.
Reset. Supervisor or CEO, which I think it should be CAO, don't talk to Supervisor Garman like that again, all right? I didn't like the way, I didn't like it. I don't agree with him with 99% of the things he says, but the way you kind of,
Hey, Stephen, hey, R6, the elections item. It's not public comment, it's R6, elections.
did he, right before I came up here, did he not say things? You know what? Fair enough. Remind me, what is R6?
The election appointment of Brad Garbutt.
Election. Is that the election where it's District 3 putting somebody into the election commission? It's a simple majority, right? Okay. So why was it not a simple majority when you and Supervisor Kilstrom recused yourself, and then it was Supervisor Rickert and Supervisor Garman voting in favor of his candidate?
It's your time, but I'll tell you.
No.
I'll tell you quickly, there's 5 people, so it has to be 3.
So why did the paper lie and say it was a simple majority? Simple majority is 2 over 1, 3 over 2. I'm not sure why you're going down this path, but don't do it. I'll back you up on 99% of the things you do, just not what you're doing right now.
Christian. Followed by Nick Gardner, followed by Bev. Or no, not Nick, I'm sorry. That's Max. Followed by Bev.
So it looks like it's a done deal. And so there's not a lot of reason to go on and on and on about this. Congratulations, Brad. He's going to be a great commissioner. And the fact of the matter is this whole election commission really should have been disbanded, but if we're going to have it, let's try and be as fair and square as possible. Because, yeah, the fact of it is, the chairperson of this, of the election commission actually came before this board and advocated that the county break law, California election code. Yeah, we've got one commissioner who had to resign because of some nefarious actions that Mr. Jones still might be under investigation for under state of California.
Let's keep it to R6.
Going back to the elections commission, we have another chairperson who likes to call me an uncircumcised you-know-what. This commission has spent $70,000 and probably destined to spend more to do one thing, and that's spread propaganda and try to figure out ways to obstruct the free and fair elections of Shasta County, and that's not going to happen because Mr. Toller is not going to let you guys get away with it. So thank you for appointing Brad, and I do thank Brad for stepping up to the plate. If we have to have a commission which is obviously built on lies, misinformation, and propaganda, we've got to have somebody in there to make sure that these guys are on the up and up, not nefarious and not breaking law.
Nick Gardner, followed by Bev, followed by Max Walter.
I have some direct quotes by Brad Garbutt out of a news cafe. Number 1, Joanna will not let Tom Toller throw the election. He's saying, you guys put him in there to throw the election.
Hey, please do.
Number 2, wow, can we have a more corrupt board of majority than these morons? He's talking about you three. Number 3, I see Cry flanked by Jones and Kellstrom wearing collars that Cry, and Cry holds the leashes. Number 4, somebody take Cry to Burger King so he can get his crown. These come directly from the news cafe. Comments. Number 5, like JJ might say, how do you know Cry is lying? His lips are moving. Cry has clearly become totally unhinged. Number 6, I think a news cafe did a story back in 22 detailing all the lies that Cry did after only being in office a few months. He is a pathological liar and a malignant narcissist.
Free speech.
And you're going to vote for him, Kevin?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for being an idiot.
Come on up, Bev.
Okay, I don't know Brad, but the person on the election commission must have integrity and be willing to look at the system objectively. If they just take the news hearsay to make their decisions, what is the point? If they are not wanting to discover the truth, no, and not opinions. So, I mean, I don't know him, so I don't know if he has integrity or not. I am giving him the benefit of the doubt that he does. I want to know if I missed something. Did I misunderstand Kevin? Did he say that he did not respect him for some things, but he did respect him for some things? And I thought I heard Kevin say he plans to vote for him. So to cut off the 2 minutes takes away time from those that do not want to have Brad take the position. So why the arguments and why the yelling? Open your eyes and ears, and this is the problem that's caused throughout a lot of problems of Shasta County. Thank you.
Thank you. Max, followed by Jenny, followed by Benjamin.
Good morning. Well, it gives me great pleasure to be a character witness for my friend Brad Garbutt. He and I go back about 35 years. I bear witness that he is one of the most rational people I've ever known. Hope that doesn't change your mind, Kevin, if you were thinking about voting for him. He's one of the most rational people I've ever known. Rational, intelligent, and having a very high dose of wisdom. He's perfect for this position. He's someone who would absolutely listen to the many proofs supposedly existing of the so-called fraudulent 2020 election. He would go into that room and see if any of the proofs exist anywhere else outside those walls, or if they really do exist only inside the echo chamber. I'm quite sure Brad would concur with the GOP Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, who recently spoke to these issues when he said, quote, "We use paper ballots with a strict chain of custody. We use counting machines, not voting machines, that are tested prior to every election, and they're never connected to the internet. We do not mass mail ballots. We monitor our drop boxes 24/7, unquote. And so far, 3 of our supervisors here have insisted upon the big lie, the stolen election. It's beyond irony that the one thing you can say about Donald J. Trump is he tried to steal the election again and 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 again. Loyalty is not a virtue. The county needs leaders who have courage and whose sense of duty is aligned to principles, not to a person. I say vote for Brad Garbutt. He's the right individual to serve Shasta County in this important moment of time.
Jenny. Ben. Brad.
So I'm afraid to voice my support today for fear that it's sort of an automatic no if I say yes. I'm sad that I feel that way, and I think a lot of citizens feel that way in this room. I wish that we all felt safe to engage in public meetings, to tell supervisors who we like, who we don't like, what we'd like to happen. I don't know Brett Garbutt, that's his name, I don't even know. I've never met him. I don't think I've ever talked to him. If I have, I didn't know it was him. My support isn't really a glowing review, just that Mary has the right to choose someone and that her voice should matter because she represents District 3. She represents Bernie and Fall River, a group of people who already feel underrepresented. To silence our 2 supervisors is to silence all the people who voted for them, and that needs to be remembered. Our people shouldn't feel unheard. Just out of decency, I hope that we allow someone who we don't agree with on this commission.
Ben, followed by Brad, followed by Leslie, followed by Laura Hobbs.
So I did prepare a speech, but just the way that the day's sort of been going, I felt it would probably be better to speak from my heart. I don't know how our community gets better from the direction that it's currently going, and I know that I technically, people like myself, people who speak out from the board chambers, can be part of that problem, but the voices of the unheard, they will ring out. You have individuals on the board that organize board discussion to be after public comment so that we have no way of refuting the narrative or the lies they may say. I felt that I was a victim of that during my appointment. I was lied about. And Patrick Jones has every right to vote in any which way he chooses. He doesn't have the right to lie about his constituents. First Amendment rights, they do stop short of slander. That being said, I will have to echo my wife. I don't know Brad Garbutt. I think he should be appointed. I think it would go a long way towards repairing some of the damage done in this community. Also, I believed that Nathaniel Pinckney, and I believe that I should have been on the commission, but I am willing to move forward in any way that helps our community get better.
Brad, Leslie, and then Laura will be our final speaker.
Thank you, Mary, for offering me this appointment. And especially important.
We'll find out a little few.
Okay, and an especially important election is coming up in November, and there's considerable misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theories swirling around our election processes spread by TV, radio, print, and social media. I believe the commission should assist the ROV in educating the electorate about what is true or false when it comes to elections. Our new ROV should explain the checks and balances in place at every step of the election process to prevent fraud, ensure accurate results, and restore trust for those who question election results. While watching board meetings over the past few years, I've listened to citizens suggest as others are voting ballots of dead people, claiming large numbers of ineligible voters are registering and casting ballots. Election rolls are not being updated as per state law. The Mesa pattern has changed outcomes in local elections. Drop boxes are being stuffed with counterfeit ballots. Vote tabulation machines are connected to the internet. Part intercivic software is rigged by Venezuelans to flip votes, or training of poll workers is insufficient. Alleged irregularities have been thoroughly investigated, and there is no evidence of widespread rigging, as proven by a recent Shasta County grand jury investigation and a recent court case about alleged fraud in our March primary that was summarily dismissed. Our new ROV is learning the election laws and has a fresh set of eyes on the internal workings of the elections office. He has the potential to address these concerns publicly prior to the November election. The election office works tirelessly to ensure the integrity and security of our electoral process.
Leslie, followed by Laura Hobbs. If you could get in queue, that'd be great.
Okay, I'm all for dissenting opinions. I would just hope that as an appointed representative, he would keep his public comments, including online forums, to professional moving forward. This one being a prime example.
I have to stick to R2, sorry. No, I'm gonna clear my comments. Sir, this is... Everybody have made comments not on R2, so
I'm
let
gonna ask
me
you again.
finish.
This is your first warning, stick to R2.
So when he says, okay, go F yourself then, and then calls, at the time it was Chair Jones an a-hole, not really appropriate behavior. So I would hope that that would stop moving forward. So overall, Mr. Toller is making positive changes. He's working well with Joanna. So I'm okay with having all sides heard and represented. I would just like to point out that Tim and Mary continue to put forward appointees that they know will be contentious. I think as an effort to, as an effort to start fights on the dais and rile up their supporters. So vote for him, that's fine. They should all have somebody. I would just suggest maybe your future appointees, Tim, if you're gonna appoint somebody eventually, be somebody that knows how to conduct themselves in public.
Laura, come on up. And this is our last speaker.
Good morning. I have never seen Brad Garbutt in attendance in any of the election commission meetings. And looking back, trying to figure out who this guy is and looking at the transcripts from previous board meetings, the F-bomb was dropped 8 times in the last 4 years. At least one of those times was Brad Garbutt. I was appalled 2 meetings ago when he finished his public comment and walked up this aisle back towards his seat. But as he was passing Lindsay Haynes, he looked her straight in the eyes and called her a B. I'm not going to say the word, but this was an unprovoked, misogynistic attack on an honorable Gateway board member. Garbutt is not a community member and of good moral character, and we see through Mary and Tim in their thinly veiled attempts to stymie, slow down, and obstruct the progress of the Election Commission. And Kevin, the fact that you've already decided to vote for Brad without hearing public discourse is disappointing. I'm okay with having a commission member who I disagree with, so long as they're polite and considerate towards other board members, and that they're not just there to obstruct the progress of our Citizen Election Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will clarify, I've had hours of public comment as it relates to not just this appointment, but a lot of appointments. So what happens in this room, for me, is probably literally 1/10, if not less, of the public interaction I have as it relates to many of these things. That's why I'm so overtly in the public, constantly talking with people. Supervisor Jones.
Thanks, Chair. I mean, the motion has been made. It has been seconded. I will be voting no on this issue.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? I will say in closing, before we take the vote, that I did go to yesterday's meeting. I was curious to see if Mr. Garbutt would be there. This is Mary Rickards, Supervisor Rickards' appointment, and I would encourage people to watch it very closely, because the people we put forth to represent us on commissions, committees, just in general, it says a lot about who we are, what our leanings are, what we believe. So my best of luck to Mr. Garbutt and Supervisor Rickards' appointment. With that, we'll take a roll call vote. Stephanie Blankenship.
Supervisor Rickert?
Yes.
Supervisor Kellstrom?
I can't bring myself to vote yes, so I will abstain.
Supervisor Cry?
Yes.
Supervisor Jones?
No.
And Supervisor Garman?
Absolutely yes.
Passes 3-1. Moving on to, and I will take this opportunity briefly to speak really quick. When we're looking at some of these items, and again, this is and I've spent a ton of time with a lot of chairs the past few weeks as we talk about public comment, what different counties have done, what different counties have tried. And I would encourage people to watch this meeting, and people aren't going to see the crowd, but watch how the media spins it and what they say and what side of the room is screaming and yelling, because I know many people in here who I would say are maybe one leaning over the other. I appreciate the fact most of you may not like the 2 minutes to the 3 minutes, but you respected the democratic process, and it doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you.